Hi, and welcome to Behind the Bell ATL with the Salvation Army of Metro Atlanta. I'm your host, Keely McGill. The goal of this podcast is to provide listeners with a glimpse of what the Salvation Army does. Many people tell us that they know we provide support to those in the community who need it, but they don't know exactly what we do. We hope to change that through our conversations with Army staff, clients, and community partners. Thanks for joining us. Hi everybody, welcome back to Behind the Bell ATL Season 2. Today I'm super happy to have Dawn and Cindy from the Salvation Army Women's Auxiliary here with me today. How are you guys doing?
Good. I'm glad to be here.
So thank you so much for being here. Can you guys give just a little quick introduction about who you are and how long you've been with the Salvation Women's Auxiliary?
Dawn Menear. I have been with the Salvation Army Women's Auxiliary since about 2007. Have had lots and various responsibilities during that time, but became a member when I was invited by another auxiliary member to come to one of their fundraising events, which back then was called the Dogwood Coffee.
Oh, fun.
And joined that day. So yeah.
Cindy, what about you?
I've been involved probably for about 10 years after I retired from working full-time. It just was an organization that I thought might be up my alley. So
I know we talk about the group and the population of ladies. It's a wide range of individuals, some ranging from retirement, but even younger still working. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about who joins the Women's Auxiliary?
Sure. Primarily, you're right. It is, I would say, 45 and above. It's women whose usually their children are out of the home, so they've got more free time. I know that was true with me. It was once my kids were getting off and gone to college, and then it was like, okay, now I'm done working on their projects. I can do something that I enjoy, something that I want to do. But I think our population is we're strategic, I think, now in trying to find younger people, because there was a whole transition about the time I joined. So I was probably late 40s when I joined. And so then it was like, okay, the group that was there, they were like getting into their 80s. So they were done. And so there was this whole transition, and then we had to keep building, and there hadn't been that building process ongoing. So there was a group, and they kind of stayed together and did great things. Mm-hmm. But then once they were no longer able to do that, then we had to go out and build a membership.
Yeah.
A lot of our members bring new members,
yes,
bring friends and families. Yes. So it's people that they know who they've seen how they've enjoyed it. And so it's kind of an easy sell after that.
Yeah.
Right.
And all different backgrounds and jobs. Yes. And so it's just a unique collection of individuals.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you go.
No, which is good and which is important. We found that our group had started to evolve into members of a geographical location. Okay, so we were all bringing our friends in, but it all ended up being our friends that lived within 2 or 3 zip codes, and we're like, yeah, no, we've got it, and we want to serve all of Atlanta, so we can't be concentrated in one area. But I think that's been one of our biggest thresholds to break, is that getting people all over the city that can't be independent, because we only have one auxiliary for the whole MAC 13 counties. Yeah. So we cannot have separate. So it's hard. We try really hard to make sure that we go all over the area.
To different areas.
Yes.
I'm just thinking about that, to coordinate that many people.
Right.
And so we'd love to have members from
all over.
All
but it could be a hard sell if they're on the south side of Atlanta, and you're only meeting on the north side.
Right. And so we intentionally go to areas, all the facilities. We take tours of all the facilities. We do projects all over the city, so that people, just to get the word out that We don't just focus on a certain area.
Yeah, so while we're talking about, being in all of Atlanta and working in the different facilities, can you talk a little bit about, what are the big things that you do in MAC to help support the Salvation Army?
There's quite a few. It'll probably take both of us to share that. But we've served lunches at Booth Towers, which was a low-income facility for mostly seniors. We do jewelry sorting, and money raised from that goes to support those who are with the Adult Rehabilitation Center and help with the rehab for men with drug and alcohol issues. We do, besides Kettle Krush, which I know we'll talk about a little bit later as well, we also help with the Angel Tree at Christmas time, ring bells.
A lot of volunteering during that time. That's a big push.
Yeah.
And can't forget birthday parties at Red Shield at the shelter as well. On a monthly basis, when we have a birthday party for the homeless children who are there that month. And I think
it's a highlight.
Yeah, it's a highlight for them for sure.
It's one of those things that I think, we all celebrate our birthday every single year, right? But
such a simple thing
to help support or make a kid feel special, but even just out of what it's currently going through.
Right, the current situation.
We bring cupcakes, and we give each birthday child gifts, so and make it pretty special for them.
And then every child that's there that day gets a little, goodie bag, little party favor.
It's like a whole birthday party.
It's a regular birthday party. So yeah, and we do some local fundraise. I shouldn't say, but local necessity drives like Red Shield. If they need towels or blankets, we'll just put out an all points bulletin. At your local church, at your whatever groups you're in, we need towels. And so we'll do a towel drive, or we'll do a food drive.
You did that.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing, too, is twice a year we have a donation drive where we bring a Salvation Army truck out to Mount Bethel in Marietta, Mount Bethel Church in Marietta, and they've collected 2 truckloads of items. We communicate and advertise it well
in the area.
And a lot of collections, so that's serving a lot of needy people as well.
So again, going back to ARC, that they then are able to sell in their stores, in the family stores, and then all those proceeds going back to ARC, and then we're able to also do food drive at the same time, and so those go back to the local pantries.
I think one of my favorite things about, being here and learning more about SAWA is that I feel like you guys support in a way for the things that wouldn't necessarily be on our top of our radar, but are so needed.
And that's I think one of the major focuses is that we supplement.
Specifically look for items like that. It's what don't you have that you could use that could probably be an extra, new furniture in the Red Shield youth centers, or some musical instruments for someone.
It's not in the normal.
It's not in the budget.
Yeah.
So it's those extra things that are important for these programs to operate. But yeah.
Well, talking about different things that you guys do, can you go into a little bit about the history of SAWA and how did you guys even get started in Metro Atlanta?
Well, auxiliaries started way back in the 1880s. That's when the first ones were starting. And basically, again, they were the support, and the women were out finding halls to have their meetings in, and, bringing cookies and lemonade, or, just doing all of that kind of background work for the officers and the corps that were developed back then. And then the 1912, I think, was when Evangeline Booth started the auxiliary as we know it today. And it's more independent structure, but going specifically to support all the programs.
It's always been about social work, no matter when, they started and kept progressing, either serving homeless women, might need a place to stay, a rescue or hospital type thing, but even during World War II, they baked cookies and helped to, care for some of the servicemen at that time. So then it started here. We It was brought to Atlanta about 1951.
Yep.
And so we're more than 70 plus years old right now.
And I have a little birdie in my head telling me that aren't you guys one of the largest in the area? Or
in the Southern Territory, I believe, yes.
Right. And there are probably, I think, more than 100 auxiliaries around
nationally.
United States. Yep.
That's good to hear. It's great to hear that we have strong women coming out and supporting the Salvation Army efforts. But the Salvation Army, it goes in line with the history of strong women coming up and supporting.
Yes.
So I just love that we're continuing that tradition for generations to come in the same support for our area. Thank you guys for sharing. I want to hear a little bit more about some of the impactful projects that you guys have been able to participate on and do in Metro Atlanta.
You got a good story.
Well, yeah, we've been able to, obviously, with the focus on the social needs in the area. I was involved with the youth programs here, and we were able to work in providing a program through the that incorporated nutrition and physical fitness, so that there was a curriculum designed, and we went in and we worked on having the kids prepare a healthy snack, went through all of the information about the snack, why it was, all different types of nutritional components. We did that for like a half an hour, and then went and did a half an hour of physical activity. So we played games, we had the gym that we had full access to, and the equipment that was provided through a program here in Atlanta. And it was great just to hear that, and it was an 8-week program that we were able to do consecutively I did it for a couple years. And we, the stories that the kids would come back with, that they had, their parents were excited, and, they talked to their, about eating broccoli, or, or just, fruits that they had never heard of before. And, they're like, what's yogurt? And they're like, so just, it was to see the smiles on their face and loving how they came back every week, and wanted more, wanted to learn more.
Well, it's great that they were able to take it back home to their parents. And they took it
back home, and they, and we were able to provide them with handouts, and, and they were able to show their parents and teach their parents.
It's crazy to think that, telling a kid like, hey, here's a vegetable, and them to get that excited to go home.
Right?
I can only imagine being a parent and having my kid come home excited about nutrition.
And just silly things like, did you, as a kid, prepare ants on a log?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. They had never heard of anything like that. And they're like, what's ants on a log? And it's like, well, it's celery and cream cheese and raisins.
Oh, see, we did it with peanut butter.
You could do either one. You could do either one. But see, nowadays you can't do a lot of peanut butter.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say a lot of crazy nut allergies.
I know.
Even dairy allergies, too.
Dairy, or yes.
Wow. Again, it's like a weird...
It is.
It's a weird thing that was so rewarding to the children there.
I know. And it was just fun just to see the reward was the smiles on their faces.
Yeah. But it's still an impactful project happening.
And that you could make an impact in the community and advancing and, teaching. You don't realize. And I guess that's we're coming from that place of having more. You forget, and you don't realize what some people don't know that we take for granted.
I think something that really struck me growing up was kids in my local high school. We did a volunteer project where we painted one of the walls in the high school, like a beautiful mural. And it was high schoolers, so 16, 17-year-olds. It was the first time they ever picked up a paintbrush. And that was something that was
so foreign.
So foreign to them, and they're my classmates. And I was like, what do you mean you've never picked up a paintbrush, And so hearing that it's still going on, where kids are still not getting experiences that, we're average to some, it's great that we have the Women's Auxiliary there to help bring different programs or even just volunteer time and bring different skills to them. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about, what you would want to share to somebody who is interested in joining SAWA?
I think for me, it's probably, for Christian women. It's an organization for Christian women. And there are so many projects that we can get involved with and develop friendships with all the other members. And that's a huge part of it, that we have this network of ladies now who are willing, to give their time and their service and help the Salvation Army.
And the friendships that we've developed.
Sure.
It's been a blessing for us on a personal level as well, is that we've developed some great relationships and friendships just amongst our group.
I think I've told you guys this before, but Sawa is like your own community, and and I love it. And I think the first time I went to one of your meetings, it was so welcoming. I walked in and I felt like everybody was my best friend from the start. They're like, "Hey, how are you? Let's get to know you." And sometimes you don't always run into that, but it felt so warm coming into y'all's meeting, and it didn't feel out of place at all.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah. We like to be called a friendly group, because I think we are.
Yeah, we are.
Yep.
So I know we're exactly 1 month away from Kettle Krush, which is the big namesake, I think, for the Women's Auxiliary. Can you guys tell me a little bit about what is Kettle Krush and what do we have to look forward to?
This is our 11th year for Kettle Krush, and we started it in the Salvation Army Women's Auxiliary the 4th year. The development team here at MAC was interested in trying to get somebody else to do it, and we just happened to be looking for a fundraising need that year, and I'm a former runner, and so I knew a little bit about planning road races.
I knew nothing.
And Dawn was president that year, so between us, we started and did it, and we've come a long way in the years that we've had it, but it's been a lot of fun, and each year it seems to get better, and more participants, more money, more awareness for the Salvation Army, which is definitely one of our goals as well. And I think we've proved that by bringing in new people to run and participate. We get many of our auxiliary members and their spouses and families out there to either volunteer or participate. Last year we started a talk trot for ages 5 and under, and we had quite a few running in that. And this year we're doing added a 1K, and that will be for anybody ages 6 and up. So I got 3 different races that people can get involved with, and even if they don't want to personally be out there sweating it out to get their t-shirt, we've got Phantom Runners options to be a Phantom Runner, where you don't have to run or sweat. You could just get a t-shirt afterwards.
Or rain it out. I feel like the past couple of years.
It's been a little drizzly.
We've been very lucky on the weather.
But we still had a great turnout last year.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
So hopefully everybody will be out this year. We've already got some good numbers of people registered. And I think one of the things that's exciting about this race, and this year Dawn's chairing that part of it, is our teams competition. We have 5 categories for teams, and you can register and be part of any of those: individual, business, church, running club, and school. So any team that has 10 or more members is eligible for the prizes. So the teams with the most participants in each of those categories will win special prizes.
Right. So we'll have 5 winners. One from each of the 5 categories.
Yes.
And that's in addition to 16 categories of age groups for award winners as well. And this year, new to our race, is we're going to give finisher medals to those in the 5K and also in the 1K. And the top truck children will get ribbons too. So
that's anybody that finishes the race, that's there that day and participates and completes the race, will get their
little medal, like a participation medal. Lions, tigers, bears. Oh my! I feel like there is just so much.
It's big. We're really excited about the teams and the fact that these teams are growing in numbers, and they're growing in actual numbers of teams and numbers in each team. So that's pretty exciting, and we're getting a broader variety
of people,
businesses, and groups and associations. So that's been really exciting.
Teams are a great way because of the wellness aspect
Yes.
and also the team building for corporations or anybody to be a part of it as well. And one of our sponsors, Home Depot Foundation, Home Depot will have 100 runners in this year's event. So that's an exciting thing too.
That's so
and
exciting.
Mount Bethel Church, who's our title sponsor, they always have a large number of participants as well with the different teams that they have within the church.
So they right now are sitting at 50. So I'm looking at so we've got pretty stiff competition in
on
our
the largest team category
and our business category. So but yeah, we'd love to have some more. So
that's crazy. What would you say is like the average size for a team, would you think?
Well, like Cindy said, a minimum of 10 to, but I mean, you don't have to have
a team,
and you don't have to have 10 in your team, but to be eligible for the prize, you need to be at least a minimum of 10. But I would say maybe 20 might be the average for the other bulk of the teams.
Yeah, that's not a big, when you think about it.
It doesn't have to be a huge
group, but still even getting like closest friends.
Family and co-workers. And, hey,
I'm sure like once you start getting like, a couple that they just start falling into place.
Yes.
So speaking of, the teams and everything happening, can you talk about where the proceeds go from the event?
Sure.
We have filled a lot of different needs in the years that we've been doing this race, but probably the biggest of all is we have already contributed $150,000 to the Salvation Army here in Metro Atlanta, the capital campaign.
Wow.
And that's going for the renovation and new building that's going up at the Red Shield.
So, for the new Center for Hope.
Yeah, new Center of Hope. So that's exciting, and we're proud to have been able to donate that amount of money, and we'll continue to do that with some of this year's proceeds as well.
Makes a huge impact on that whole production of, and we're so excited to see what, the future of where that leads.
But we're also able to supplement and provide funds for the core locations to help with all of their, their after school programs and their food pantries and all of anything that, all of the operations at the core. We help at Camp Grandview. We've been able to provide sand volleyball courts and lifeguard stands and for the pool and some
many,
of the things.
And many years ago, the Women's Auxiliary even built one of the cabins there.
Oh, wow.
So,
at a camp.
Yep.
And
so we had bunk beds for veterans and homeless men at the shelter. We did done that. Just again, a lot of different needs that you might not know that are out there, but
usually
that we help with.
Right, like Major Stacy will go back for us, and she is our Salvation Army representative, and so she'll go back and she will ask all of the different facilities and locations, okay, what do you need? And then we will, as a group, sit down with our fundraising committee, or our finance committee, excuse me, and go through all of those needs, and we'll look at all the money that, the profit that we have, and have fun giving out money.
Get to be Santa Claus.
To be Santa Claus, exactly. That is the fun part. Like, oh my gosh, we can take care of this, and we can help do this, and we can take care of that, and
it's a heartwarming feeling because that's what we've worked for.
That's what we want. That's why we're there.
To give out those funds.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great to hear, and then it goes back to the communication of it all. Like you have to be in the cores, you have to be in the facilities
to know what they need. And
to advocate for, the need that's out there in our community. Yes. Back to Kettle Krush, because all the fun questions. But aren't we doing an extra call for our runners at Kettle Krush this year?
We are this year, and we are also tagging on to a summer food drive that the Metro Atlanta area is doing. And So that food drive, I believe, is starting in end of May, June.
So I think it starts the week of Kettle Krush.
Oh, it does start that week. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like the 12th through the 16th.
Starts Salvation Army Week. Okay. And then, so yes, so we are asking all participants in the race to bring a canned or food item that will be collected. We will have a canteen truck at the race, and so those are our mobile units that go out during disaster, and so those we will have a unit there, and we'll be stuffing the canteen, and so yeah, to help kick off the summer program.
We know how much food is needed.
Yes,
because last August we had to help out Metro Atlanta Area Command when pantries were getting lower, so we're definitely in tune with what you all need.
Right. We were able to pull from some additional resources that the auxiliary had and provide $10,000 to help supplement the pantries.
Because I think one of the reasons we really kicked off Summer Hunger is because we saw a big shift after Canathon. You know, by the time summer comes around, almost all of our pantries need more food.
Right.
And thank goodness for the Women's Auxiliary last year to help support. Well, but we got to see that, Summer Hunger is a need now.
It's a huge need because all the students are home that are provided lunch during the school year, and then they're home all summer and they don't have that resource. Yeah. So, yeah. And they're home and they don't have lunch. They don't have food.
I couldn't imagine just,
I know,
going and not having that, or just realizing how many people around you might need that. You know what I mean? It could be a neighbor right next door. So I'm happy to hear that you guys are hopping onto the Summer Hunger. It's a big passion of mine, so it's one of my favorite things we do. But you guys kind of will be at the end of the week, so I think it'll be a great thing to round out the whole donations. But more about Summer Hunger is we have 5 locations participating where people can drop off foods at those locations. We'll have them listed below for people to see, but it goes to, continue on filling the pantries in our area.
Well, a little plug for our Kettle Krush. It will be held at Marietta Square.
Oh, very important information.
May 17th. Race begins at 8, so if you decide at the last minute, you can still register starting at 7:15.
That was me last year.
Yep. No problem. Just come on down.
And the Salvation Army's Captain Kettle and Home Depot's Homer will be out there. They're always fun for everybody to get pictures with as well.
And don't we have a new announcer this year?
We do.
Yeah. Yes, Chesley McNeil from Channel 11 will be with us this year, so he will be our new MC.
Ooh, the meteorologist. So we hope to have
good weather.
Yeah, he's going to pay the weather bill for us. So yes, we're hoping for good things. So yeah, we've had sprinkles the last 2 years.
Hey, but there was still a great turnout even with the misting. Hey, it was kind of nice.
Mystic, and it went away.
Oh yeah, it was
Sun
good.
Came out.
It was great. It kept me from getting sunburned, so I'm happy.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing about Kettle Krush. I know I'm excited. I'm going to be running/walking this year, and I'm bringing my husband along. He'll probably do the 1K if we're going to be honest.
That's all right. That's good. Progress.
Progress, right? Progress. He didn't come last year, so I got to bring him in this year.
There you go.
But can you tell me a little bit about how you see, the Women's Auxiliary evolving in the future to come?
I think personally that it will continue to grow. We just keep adding new members every year. We have an annual membership drive in the fall each year, but we still take new members any time of the year. So
correct.
But we change as the Salvation Army changes and the needs change. So whatever they're changing, however they're changing, we will support Salvation Army no matter what.
Yeah. We have a jewelry sorting program that evolved out of donations going down to the ARC, to the Adult Rehab Center. So here's all of this, anything from costume jewelry to like last week they found a Tiffany necklace. Yeah. Okay. Fancy. So we have a group of 5 ladies every Tuesday, rain or shine, spend the entire day sorting, untangling, repairing, cleaning, getting all of this jewelry together, that what is sellable, they tag and price and get it ready to go back and then out into the stores. What is not sellable, they bag up and sell in what they call like lots of, just beads and
mystery bags,
findings and all of that stuff, just fun stuff. But we have more of an interest with more women, and so we're getting ready to start another group in another area because there's so much that's turned in, so much donated that they can't get it all done. So again, it's just meeting the need, and they make up to average $6,000 to $10,000 a month.
It provides a
in this
whole
jewelry
lot of income for men going through the drug and
wow.
So it's just something that we're like, we can do this.
Can support the ARC.
And we used to occasionally go down, and just that was one of our occasional projects that we would go down as a group, and we would sit at a table for a couple hours and do this. Well, this other group has taken it to a whole nother level, and this is like, it's great, but they love it. It's they're a group. We're friends. It's a group, and this is just what they do.
It's like a socializing club, but you're getting to work at the same time.
Talk and chat and work at the same time.
See, to me, I love that because it's something so simple that makes a huge impact at the end of the day. That you would just think, it's an hour of their time and they're socializing with friends, but you're still making a huge impact.
And again, you're providing revenue that would not be available if you didn't take a few hours or whatever,
or the
week or a month, or the patience, the time
to go into it. That's great.
So that's that's just showing the change and the evolution, and then we're also expanding what we do with the elderly. So we're looking at expanding in at the Marietta Core. So we do a project with booth towers, and then we're also looking at expanding and going and doing something on a regular basis at the Marietta Core.
Fun.
So that'll be fun.
I think we talk about this a lot, where we help anybody who comes to the Salvation Army, but there's specific populations that need help. We help our youth, but also the help of the elderly in our community. Like, I did not know that there was such a need until I really started diving into what the Salvation Army does, to hear the need that the elderly have here.
And again, we also have the opportunity at some of the Corps to go in and prepare meals. So they serve dinner in their communities, and they open that up and they say, you can schedule and make a plan and come in. We can go in and prepare it at that time and serve it, or we can go in and just take a day and prepare like 4 meals for 50 people at a time, and then they put it in the freezer, and then they keep it, and then when they have an event, they can just pull it out, and they're prepared, they're ready.
Ready-made meals there.
So, and we've done that at different locations.
Wow,
so,
that's great.
And I've taken Angel Tree, and because I've seen all the need that's out there when the auxiliary has gone to help and prepare the gifts and sort and put the bags together.
Literally getting to be Santa.
Yes. Well, I've taken that now to my church. So again, increased the awareness of the program. I got 100 more people involved donating gifts. And it's just, that alone right there just makes me feel good that other people then are contributing and make it a special Christmas for some other children who are in need.
Yeah, but it goes to show you how a simple conversation can lead into so much more.
It did, yes. And it's just being aware. You don't know what you don't know, but then you have that little bit of knowledge, and it's easy to share it with a friend. It's easy to tell somebody about what we do, where we go. But it's just asking somebody to come on in.
Just that
come join us.
That simple invite.
For ways to help.
Yes. So if you have a heart for helping, if you have a help for, being in a group of friendly ladies, we like to talk, we like to eat, we like to, we like to do, fun things. So
it's a good organization.
It's a good group.
Part.
It is a good group.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about, how people can get involved to help support the Women's Auxiliary that's not necessarily, through Kettle Krush?
Again, it's coming to we have 6-7 monthly meetings throughout the year, and it's at those meetings that we talk about all of the programs and all of the activities that we have. We have committees within our group, and we have chair people for those committees, and they are then responsible for putting all of that stuff together and getting the group organized. And like we have someone that heads up the parties at Booth Towers. We have someone that heads up the parties at Red Shield, someone that heads up all of the jewelry sorting, that works with the ARC, works with camps, works with the youth clubs. And so we have a liaison with all of those different organizations that then set up the activities that we do. And so just coming and being part of one of our meetings and going and learning all of that is how they can get involved.
I love that, because you're not just, joining a club and then you're just helping every single time, but you're playing on each other's strengths and putting people in positions of, or even passions. Like if, jewelry sorting is your passion, or if nutrition's your passion, you're leaning on that for the individual who's in Sawa.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't think we ever explained, and this will, I think, probably be able to wrap things up for you, but the goal of Kettle Krush is to crush poverty, homelessness, and human trafficking, and support the veterans and also the youth enrichment. So you can see how we capture everything under one umbrella, and that's what we use really as our theme throughout the whole organization.
I was about to say, every time I think of the Sawa ladies, I hear that whole statement in my head as y'all's mission. Like, this is your mission, to combat all of those needs in our area.
And the fact that we do the Kettle Krush in the spring, so same reason, different season. So it's the same reason that the Army exists for all of those needs that aren't met. We just do our kettle in the different season. It's just,
it kicks us out of the Christmas holiday. We love
Christmas.
We love Christmas. We love the winter season for us because it's a great time. And people are used to giving around that time. But the need is 365 days a year.
Yes.
12
months out of the year.
Yeah. So it's a great way to, one, get involved, but have an activity to do.
And have something to focus on, to gear it around to, again, awareness. It just brings it all back to just,
it's
something
perfect.
fun, something new, something fun.
True. Very true. And it's different. It's not, you don't think of, a 5K when you think of bell ringing, but it's still something so fun and makes a huge impact in our area. Well, I want to say thank you guys both for being here. I really appreciate it. And for being our first episode back.
Awesome.
I've really enjoyed it. Like I've said, I'm very comfortable with you two. I feel like two best friends over here. But, but thank you for being here. But is there anything else you want to share just as a last message to anybody listening?
Just if you're a lady looking for something to do in the area, look at us.
Yep. Give us a call.
Women's Auxiliary.
I'm sure Keely will provide all of our.
It'll all be down below.
Yeah. We're not too hard to find.
Membership is open.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, also don't forget Kettle Krush.
Yes.
May 17th, 8 a.m. And it is going to be a fun day, hopefully with sun. But thanks for listening. So we'll see you guys later.